should do that thing that Garland Nixon does where he has the
Live.
countdown. Oh, I know,
It's
but
live. Get the countdown next time. So, hello, everybody. People on my streams may know, probably know, I hope. I'm Diane Sayre. I'm a LaRouche independent candidate for U.S. Senate. And Jose Vega is with me, the infamous, who is running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the 15th CD. And I thought the two of us should get on regularly to talk with all of you about what's happening in the world and what our Congress should be doing if we had sane and courageous leadership down there. So
I
we're
agree.
really we're at an amazing point. Well, why don't you go ahead? What do you think? What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, first, I think just like what we're doing here is because you would be in the U.S. Senate, and I would be one tier below that in the U.S. Congress, right? You and I represent like maybe we need to find a presidential candidate too to get on these calls as well, so we can have like a model government right here and like debate and discuss like what exactly we would be doing. But no, I think oh look at that, Adam Mosius says two best people in here. But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, what is there to that's on people's minds right now? I think that's what we should discuss. I think for example, petitioning is about to start a week from now, right? And one of the things we need is we need people who to be on the ground to get us to be on the ballot. Because, well, if people want an alternative that they can circle in on November, they need to sign us in. And I keep saying that getting us on the ballot is our expression of the uncommitted vote that started in Michigan and other states have taken. And I hear in New York, they did the blank ballot thing, which I think they estimated something like 12 to 15% of New Yorkers ended up voting in the primaries as blank ballots, right?
Wow.
Basically trying to send a
Find
message.
out. I'm really
What?
eager to get those figures. I'm eager to get those figures. We should find it. New York is not a day of elections, it's a season. So they have 6 weeks to mess around with things.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's why like my plan is to be done in 10 days, right? I want to be done in 10 days. I want to get all the signatures I require. And we have a really big surge because Due Dissidents announced publicly on their show that they're coming out to help. And anybody who wants to join us on that surge on the 420, which we will redefine what that day actually means on that day, hopefully. But Due Dissidents, these two influencers who occasionally host Jimmy Dore's show, will be coming out. And if you want to join that, well, I guess we can put a registration link and you can come and petition for Diane and I here in the Bronx. And so you'll have to do a training session first, but if you want to be on the ground with us, you have to register, which, you know what, I'll just put the registration form right now in the chat because I can do that. And that's
great.
Yeah, I can do
While
that.
you're concentrating on that, I would like to say a couple things because there's two very significant breaking developments. One is that the little Napoleon Macron, who is insane with regard to Russia and Ukraine, has nonetheless joined with King Abdullah of Jordan and President el-Sisi of Egypt in an op-ed in some major Western newspaper, which for some reason I don't see the name of, calling for a ceasefire, humanitarian aid, and a two-state solution. So the pressure is growing. The visibility of the genocide, which is moving so many billions of people on the planet into the streets, is having its effect even here. Number two, also very significant and shows how much smarter senior statesmen like Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin are compared to the arrogant Americans who don't know history and think everyone should listen to them or does listen to them or has no choice. Xi Jinping just had a meeting with a former leader of Taiwan, Ma Ying-jeou, who was the leader of Taiwan and with the KMT, the Kuomintang. This is a very big deal. And the two of them met, agreed with their shared reverence for Sun Yat-sen. She announced, I guess they're going to be reopening tourism to Taiwan. In other words, while Biden, the British Empire, the intelligence agencies try to foment a war using Taiwan as they used Ukraine as a proxy to have a war with mainland China, it looks like there are some leaders, namely Xi Jinping and also the Kuomintang in Taiwan, who are smarter than that. And they're outflanking it before it starts, hopefully successfully. It would depend on Americans also wising up to this anti-China propaganda. But I think this is really amazing, very promising, and gives a ray of hope. But you may have some thoughts since you had a trip to China recently, and you probably know that they're really escalating against China right now in the US press.
I think it's hilarious every time the United States tries to insinuate some kind of provocation. Like recently, I think Janet Yellen said that China's economy is just so big, it's having negative spillover effects in the US, and that's why we need to castrate ourselves off and, do all kinds of stupid decisions. Then you
We
have
need
like
to castrate ourselves.
I'm because Janet Yellen is talking about lessening cooperation
Well,
with
you know
China.
what, Jose? No one in the Congress would be able to do that.
My point is,
Sorry. Okay.
you see Xi Jinping, and he comes to San Francisco, and he says to American students, "I want 50,000 of you to come and have a cultural exchange. Go to school here, visit. Like they would. Sorry, I'm still thinking about what you said, but Xi Jinping is saying that he wants cooperation with the United States, and I think that's such a great leadership by example that whenever your enemy is trying to provoke you, he's just extending an olive branch forward and a hand forward. They invite every administration to the Belt and Road Initiative. They're always looking for ways to cooperate. I mean, they look like, an adult compared to a child, when it comes to the relations. And because we were over there, you talk with the people, and the people, the Chinese are always like, yeah, I mean, our relationships are strained right now, but I think cooperation is the best thing for our countries. It's inevitable. I mean, this was like almost every person we spoke to. They want good relations with Americans. And since COVID, the number of flights going to China has sincerely dwindled down. I think it was something like only like 120 flights a week were going back and forth to China. And I mean, now that number has gone up, and I think that number should go up even more because then flights will become cheaper if there are more flights. But also, it shows that, there's only like 100 or 200 or 300 American students in China right now compared to like it's abysmally low.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to, the number of Chinese people that we have here. Like, of course they don't hate the United States because they come here and then they can learn from us and they can see our people, not our government, but our people and the way the people treat them. And it's got to be the same back and forth.
I totally agree. So I think we should wrap up because we want people to be hungry for more.
Yes.
And we will do this regularly, hopefully daily. We're both going to be unbelievably crazy busy in the coming period, but all of you can help us. And definitely sign up to petition and sign up to donate. We need funds, right?
No, I'm okay. No, of course we need funds. We need funds because we need to pay for things like the things you don't think about, like how much is gas getting to a deployment, clipboards, pens, printing of the paper, printing of our little bookmarks, and now my 4x6s. I mean, these things, yeah, they cost money, and it sneaks up on you how expensive these things actually are. So whenever someone donates, the money's put right to good use.
Exactly. So thanks a lot. Thank everyone for tuning in, and watch out for us. We'll be popping up where and when you least expect it.
Exactly.